So I'm going to talk about the art of failure. Now, I'm a professional musician. I play the cello. Since I was 8 years old, the cello has been my constant companion, my means of self-expression, my ticket to see the world, my bread and butter, and the source of my greatest failures. Now, if I were to give you my resume while being totally truthful, there are two entirely different versions that I could tell. The first version, the one I have never put in print, the one you might call my secret resume, would read like this. From the first time she heard a string quartet in elementary school, Barbara knew that playing chamber music was what she wanted to do with her life. While a student at the Juilliard School, she formed her own string quartet. And though it had some early success, it failed to launch a career and disbanded after just a couple of years. Try as she might to get another quartet off the ground or find a chamber music position at a university, Barbara failed in all her attempts. She then shifted gears and set her sights on winning a position in a major symphony orchestra by beating all the competition in a blind, behind-the-screen live audition. Over the next 18 years, Barbara failed in over 50 auditions all around the country. Her first time was at the New York Philharmonic, a short walk from her Manhattan apartment. And though she felt she had played her best, she did not advance beyond the preliminary round. Next, she tried the Philadelphia Orchestra, but nerves got the better of her and she failed miserably. At the Chicago Symphony, Barbara auditioned 6 different times, making it all the way to the final round on her first attempt, but failing to do so the other 5 times. At the Los Angeles Philharmonic, she made the semifinals once and the finals twice, but was never able to nail down the job. She was constantly checking around for openings wherever they might occur, and was rejected in Cleveland, Minneapolis, Pittsburgh, Boston, Rochester, Montreal, Washington, D.C., and 3 times in Milwaukee. And let's not forget her failed auditions at the Metropolitan Opera Orchestra and the Orchestra of Paris. Now, we all know the cliches. You can learn from all your mistakes, and every failure is a golden opportunity. But that isn't necessarily true. It takes a lot of work to learn from our failures. Rigorous, analytical, often painful amounts of effort. But it was work I was determined to do. So I began to devise a kind of audition curriculum for myself. The first thing I did was keep a log of all the auditions that I played, writing down and studying every aspect, from the pieces I played to what the acoustics were like on stage, how nervous I was, my mental state, and most importantly, the feedback that I managed to get from the people on the other side of the screen. I made many awkward, unpleasant phone calls to those musicians who had listened to and judged my auditions. Hi, you don't really know me, but I was candidate number 57 at the cello auditions, and I was just wondering if you could look at your notes and maybe read me some comments you wrote down about me. Oh, really? I wasn't rhythmically accurate in the Beethoven Symphony? What? You thought I played out of tune in the Mozart excerpt and my solo piece wasn't convincing, like the person who won the job? Oh, thanks a lot. Each time I learned exactly what I needed to work on, and I knew I couldn't do it all on my own. So in between freelancing and Broadway shows and wedding jobs, I started to seek coaches who could help me, taking lessons with every cellist whose playing I admired. Sometimes it would just be 1 or 2 lessons. Other times I'd find a mentor for 10 years. I asked all my friends who they coached with and had lessons with cellists, violinists, pianists, even one double bass player. I practiced endlessly, playing on stage in large concert halls after hours to get used to the acoustics of a big auditorium, taping myself for greater objectivity, and doing mock auditions for anyone who would listen. I also worked to hone the mental and psychological skills that were so crucial for a good audition, doing specialized workshops to overcome performance anxiety, and learning to keep my mind on a short leash, focused only on the task at hand, which for me was not winning the job, because that only made me more tense and was something I knew I could not control. Rather, I focused on expressing the music as deeply as possible from the first moment I walked out on stage. Now, as you can imagine, there were times in those 18 years when I felt despair. I remember saying to my scientist boyfriend one time, "Isn't there something you could teach me in computers that I could do for a living? I will never have a successful career in music." Instead of giving in to my self-pity, he replied, "I think you were one of those people put on the planet to make the rest of us forget about computers." That same boyfriend introduced me to a type of Buddhist meditation called vipassana. At meditation retreats, I learned to quiet my mind and cultivate a neutral, mindful awareness, staying present with my internal sensations and working with the flow of energy. When applied to cello practice, mindfulness meditation sensitized my listening awareness, critical of the sound, not the self. Like the Zen monk who had to walk a tightrope carrying a jug of hot oil, I learned the only way to face a stressful audition is relaxed and in balance, thoroughly prepared, and fully present in the moment. So in case you're wondering, I also have that other version of my resume, the one that I do tell the public, and it reads like this. Barbara's first orchestra job was principal cellist of the New Jersey Symphony. I needn't mention it was my 19th audition. In the 8 years she held this position, she played many of the cello solos of the orchestral repertoire and formed a string quartet with the other principal players that performed all around the state. Next, she won a summer position as principal cellist of the Eastern Music Festival in Greensboro, North Carolina, where she played concertos with the orchestra and chamber music with international guest artists. After that, she won a temporary job for 2 years as principal cellist of the Milwaukee Symphony. I think I'll leave out those 3 times I failed to win the permanent chair. And then at age 41, with an 8-month-old baby, Barbara won her dream job, a position in the cello section of the San Francisco Symphony. A member of this esteemed orchestra for 20 years now, she has played on numerous international concert tours, Grammy-winning recordings, and chamber music concerts with her symphony colleagues. I really believe that all of those years of struggle and intense practice and preparation have enabled me to maintain my skills at a high level and now teach them to the next generation. The discipline, perseverance, and resilience that I developed have served me well in all areas of life. For so many people, not just in music, but in everything, our successes are built upon the scaffolding of our failures, which, if we allow them, can provide us a pathway to growth and transformation. Now, since it is music that has always sustained me through the ups and downs of my career, I would like to close by playing a piece that I often would turn to for inspiration, that speaks directly to my heart. In this music, the composer, Johann Sebastian Bach, expresses feelings that are soulful and deeply reflective. It is the Sarabande in G major for unaccompanied cello.